I'm ready! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Why the hell am I streaming on a Monday? Well, short story... Story time? No. Short reason is I didn't stream on Sunday. And I'll tell you exactly why I didn't stream on Sunday. Because I got burnt out. I was just nothing doing, nothing but sleeping all day. Which is why the streams on the weekends have been so bloody, like, late. Because I've just been sleeping. Because I feel like I burn out so damn fast from having to go to work in the morning, coming back home, resting for an hour, and starting a stream, then rinse and repeating, and being like, oh god, I don't get enough sleep on the weekday. And it comes back and haunts me on the weekend. Oh well, that's my problem. Anyway, we're back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles Resolve. We're going to continue on with Case 2. Because I had to stop because of hiccups on Saturday. And I couldn't bring myself to stream on Sunday for whatever bloody reason. So we're in the middle of a cross-examination of Lady Altamont from the gas company and the other guy. And I don't bloody remember anything right now. Was I gonna, like... You know what? I'm gonna just press, right? What have I done? Did I go through this? I did go through this. And I feel like I tried to show the soap, and I'm like, oh, the soap didn't do anything. Actually, come to think of it, should I look at that soap bar again? Because I don't need to delve deeper about how it can be dismantled, right? Because I have the answer I want. You know what I'm going to ask? How can the meter be dismantled? Dismantled? Yes, given that there are no signs of it having been forced, I'm wondering if perhaps rather than being broken open, it might have been taken apart. Well, yes, that does make sense. The padlocks are made by a first-class locksmith from the finest quality steel. And the meter box itself is made from plate steel as well, welded shut to ensure it can't be opened again. Stream is muted? How is it muted? Do you have me muted? Because I don't have anything muted. Well, something's really fucked up. Output. Now she's gonna make me look, and I'm over here like there's no way. Audio. Wait, what? No? Everything is fine. It's Nemi. It's gonna be Nemi. Because I bet if I try to hear myself right now, I'd be able to hear myself just fine. And I don't like unmuting myself from this thing. Yeah, see, it's fine. Poor Nemi. Poor Nemi. Also, oh, really? My internet's gonna start acting up now? Where was I? And the meter box itself is made from plate steel as well, welded shut to ensure it can't be opened again. I can assure you, it's quite impossible to dismantle it. Woohoo! Yeah! Nothing leaks from an Altamont meter. No coins, no gas, no nothing. Oh my god. What's the matter, Nemi? I literally just watched the video and had sound. Let me guess, you muted YouTube, or you muted a tab or something. That's a hi, Nemi. I thought you were asleep. I see. I told you it was on your end. The witness will amend her former testimony with that information in case it is pertinent. As you wish, my lord. It's not pertinent, though. I'm on my phone. But you should be asleep. All joints on the meter are welded shut, and the lock is made from solid steel. There's no way to dismantle it. You see this padlock? You can hit it with another padlock to break it open, especially if it's master lock. Has anyone ever tried? Oh yeah, they've tried, but they've given up before long. After all, if they actually broke the meter, the company would be able to take legal action. Yes, that makes sense. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is its welded steel construction significant? No? No. And the reason I say no is because, like, we know there's a hole there for some bloody reason, wherever the reason is. The thing that's bothering me, though, is this bar of soap that has the... Where the heck? Where'd it go? Oh? Look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on the side about 2 centimeters across, or 3/4 of an inch. Ah, do you think... We did find this soap at the scene, didn't we? Yes, yes, there were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window, so we took this one, but there was something missing from it now. But I'm sure when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. I remember it clearly. Yes, but there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? It's a 2 centimeter dive. That's weird. I was like bringing this up, and I'm asking myself, why can't I use this as, to as evidence. Fucking knew it. Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction we should be focusing on. No, the other one is definitely the differentiation between coins. That's what we need to be asking. We can skip through some dialogue. Nemi, I might have a game for you and for you to play. So this is where I want to present that. That's what I wanted to do last time. Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if we're a 3-penny per bit. Is that correct? Village Rhapsody, Nemi. That's the name of the game. Look it up on Steam. Teehee. Yes, that is correct. Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something the same size as the through-penny bit? What was it? The item in question is this. What? Have you been inhaling gas? That's a bar soap. It certainly looks nothing like a through-penny bit, I must say. It looks like I'm gonna have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's so important about the soap is this part here. That part.
Got it!
Got it! You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Hi, Bomb! I got a game for you, Bomb. It's the same one I told Nemi. Village Rhapsody. Did? Ah. Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there? That's right, a depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as the 3-penny bit. Someone do the soap? No, God, no. Get away! Does anyone here present have in their possession a 3-penny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen. Judge, I know you're falling on hard times, man, but you don't gotta ask the entire gallery for money. It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it? Get robbed in court, damn. Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a through-penny bit. Now, to see if it fits. My word! It couldn't be more snug! Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded. Well, I don't believe it. So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas? Yes, dumbass. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a through-penny bit. I must concur, at least, that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. And then you would use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mold. You could make fake coins in no time. This guy picked it up real quick, damn. This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shamspeare's been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. You're gonna have to help me out there, Ryu, because I sure as hell don't understand that. But this is all nonsense! If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter. Quite true, Lady Altamont, in the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There is one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes. Exactly, and the meter here gives it away. What on earth? There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. If that is your assertion, counsel, the defense will identify these remnants of the court at once. Remnants for the court at once. Where on the meter of the can the remnants of the method be used to make the fake coins disappear be seen? To be completely honest with you, this thing looks all fucked up no matter how you look at it, but I'm looking at that waxy bit right there.
Got it.
The answer is right here. Clearly, this is highly suspicious wrong. Rather vague answer, wouldn't you say, counsel? What is highly suspicious would be what I would posit is my learned Nipponese friend's panic-stricken expression. I take full responsibility for that one. But I hear that the Nipponese aren't wont to be cut open their stomachs when they recognize their failings. Please, don't hold back on our count. I assume the Japanese, like the British, have but one stomach. Might I suggest no more failings, counsel? Consider your response carefully before trying again. But it's the green wax. Unless I have to talk about it first, which I'm going to point it out. This is quite a tough padlock. What are you doing, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I was just seeing if it was possible to force it open. If you break it, I'm afraid you'll be forced to pay a fine. Oh no, whew, that was a close then. Perhaps tell me a little more sooner next time? Yeah, no, it's... The only thing is this stupid fucking hole. There's this little hole in the bottom of the meter here, isn't there? It looks as though it was made by somebody who really didn't have the right tools. It does actually go all the way through to the inside, though it's hard to see that unless you look closely. In fact, it goes right into the part where the meter where the money ends up. I suppose it's nothing then. Oh? Well, you couldn't possibly extract a coin through such a small hole, could you? No, I suppose not. But then the question remains, why would somebody go to the effort of making a hole here? I mean, it's like the only thing I point out to, besides the entire thing looking all fucked up. Anyway, hole. We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found this soap. Ah, I get it! That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Did you say ice? Mr. Shamsbury has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas. Just like that, so simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling with us all with some bars of soap and water? That's right, madam. I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop the new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless? I'm fairly sure I didn't design it. Evidence! Sorry? I want evidence. If you're gonna stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? How do I prove that they're rubbish? Huh? Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it. What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do actually have evidence to support this theory? I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. Piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shamspear has been stealing gas is... I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. What the hell did you notice? I sure as hell didn't notice. Oh, that's... Yeah, that would make sense.
Take that!
This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson, and it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspear. What remnants? Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamspear's room. Now, look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. Ba-ba-ba! What is that? Some kind of grubby stain? Almost certainly it's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made of the meter. Ah! If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage, and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, we can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. Dude. This is awful! And there's further evidence too. Mr. Shamspear is slumped over his table, apparently having consumed... How do we pronounce that? Stitch 9? Meow? And right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. Best picture of a sham. I did like Shamspear, though. Not gonna lie. You're right. It would appear to me, then, counsel, that the man was eating this soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but... certainly not. He didn't beat about the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shamspear was found with a fork in his hand. A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely. Wait, what did they say? A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely, Lord Van Zeeks. Do you mean to say he was using that fork to... Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap. Ah. But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well. Good gracious! Why did he do that for? The Lord Van Zeeks. I was throwing my hand up in despair and happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. What is the meaning of this, counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination? That Shamspear is not trustworthy. Well, that Mr. William Shamspear is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable. That's it! That's exactly it! Very well. Let us assume the man is a liar. Now, allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make? It doesn't make a difference, does it? We know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gas man's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shakespeare is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Yeah, he's not wrong. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. You... What? Order! Order! Well, counsel, how does the defense respond? But Mr. Naruhodo! Naruhodo. What was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all, like Lord Van Zeeks is saying? What am I objecting to? That's the problem. I have to raise an objection. I'm a defense lawyer. I have to. No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What? But, counsel, you've successfully explained everything. You've identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shakespeare to consume gas. What more is there to discuss? Lord Van Zeeks just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. But contrary to what he would have the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption made due to a lack of evidence. But the situation has changed now following the cross-examination of the latest witness to take the stand. Don't be absurd! What is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. No, isn't it? There's a question that we now need to reconsider, namely... Was someone else responsible? It can't happen. Was there another visitor? It can't have happened. Was the poison even in the tea? It could be a possibility. But we haven't even gotten an answer to that either. We've been led to believe that the Stitchin poison that afflicted Mr. Shakespeare was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsumi, but that's conjecture at best. No, it's... The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There is no other possibility. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of the poison. As I said, the situation has changed, because in fact, some of Mr. Natsumi's tea was left at the scene, and a particular piece of evidence proves it. A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? The defense has made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? Funny enough, it's that little rim right there.
Take that!
What exactly is this piece of evidence supposed to reveal? I guess not. Why does everything always feel right and wrong? Stop making me dig my own grave. Even at the bottom of the deepest chasm, you will find no sense in that absurd assertion. Blech. I kind of wish to. And I advise you to think more deeply before you answer this again. Don't tell me it's this shit. No. We don't even know what that is. Is there something there that I might have missed? No No container for the poison was found at the scene. What am I trying to present here? What am I trying to present? I'm so confused as to what I'm supposed to be presenting. Does this bar of soap have something about it? Are you suggesting something, Ryu? We've already gone through the thing about this one. It's not letting me skip it either. It's soap with a little circle in the middle. Don't tell me that they would use the T. What? There's no way he'd be that stupid, would he? There's no way. I didn't consider it for a moment, but... It can't be the soap bar again, right? That's ridiculous, right?
Take that!
It is. I'm sorry, what? Good gracious! The soap again? The same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice? Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. It's more bars of soap. Soap? What are the bars of soap doing lined up on the edge outside the window? I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar. So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice. There was something strange about them, you mean? Exactly. Something very obviously strange. They were red. The ice was red. No. You mean... That's right. It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from the frozen tea. Who the fuck freezes tea? What? I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsumi earlier in this trial. That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspear's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result. Never will I touch the tea again. Never! Someone who wants some free gas. Ah, yes, I believe there had been a snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. I'm so glad that my room is a goddamn heater by itself just because of the nature of my PC. But we used to actually have, at least in this apartment, we did have the heater linked up to the gas at some point. We have long since shut that off because we don't ever use it. Plus it smells terrible when you use it. And the last thing we want to do is use that old, like, 30-year-old vent thing and have the house burned down for no fucking reason. That would be horrible. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East End are prone to freezing. So on the night in question, Mr. Shamspear, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsumi in order to make his fake coins. My word! There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene. That's right, and we only borrowed one of them. Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime. Frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Shamspear's window. Extraordinary! Early today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even one drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture. By finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsumi's tea actually contains Stitchin at all. Ah, you smug Nipponese! My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once! And the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it, to determine whether or not it contains any poison. That's going to be interesting as to how he even got poisoned in the first place, if that's the case. Bailiff! Bailiff! Instruct the police to attend to the scene at once! Yes, my lord, understood! It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zeeks. None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim. Yes, my lord. Well, we managed to scrape through there somehow. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow. I didn't think they were going to have a full day. Well, I didn't think that was going to happen. So wait, we have an investigation part 2 as well? Damn, okay. This case is longer than I thought it was going to be. Bow, bow, bow. 22nd of February, 1:11 p.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Woo! We made it back in one piece. Jest. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There's so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very near flat several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I wasn't all of you. Oh, thank you. And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. The fuck are we gonna find, though? Yes, let's do that. Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it. That's all. And I'm here in England, working as a lawyer, I mean, in the Old Bailey, no less. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him, it should be Kazuma. It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Yes, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan that we still have yet to find anything about. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. Also, I see my internet dying again. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us. Thanks, Susie. Thank you. You've been wearing that ever since we arrived in Great Britain, haven't you? Well, it's what shows that I'm a lawyer, so it seems appropriate. I'm not sure that it really means much in this country, though, I'm afraid. Hi, Zoe. I wouldn't say that. It might not be official, but it looks official. Often when the police stop me, I just show them this and they leave me alone. That's such an OP power. You're stopped by the police? Often? Well, you know, I'm a suspicious foreigner dressed all black with a sword on my side. I do think it's probably the sword that's the main reason. Still, it makes me happy to see you wearing it, and the armband. Yes, I made up my mind that I'll carry them always, the symbol of who I am, and the sword Karama. Karama? Karama? Karuma? Karama? Susato-san, what do you make of this? Oh dear, what indeed? Let me see. If you don't know, really, it's fine to say so. I won't hold it against you. Bam, 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 bam. I don't know why I like presenting everything. But nobody ever says anything specific about, like, anything else. Oh, the bar soap. Susato-san, what do you make of this? Ah, yes, the soap that we found on the ledge outside Mr. Shamspeare's blocked-up window. Since we discovered him poison, I've been scared to wash my hands. I keep thinking the foul soap is going to be the end of me. Well, the soap's bad name was cleared in the end, wasn't it? Suppose so. But I'm still worried about it. I think it would be safer just to never wash my hands again. Wow. I think you haven't thought that through. You will wash your hands, Naruto-san. You will. Don't be like Ryu. Wash your hands. My Shruma. Still don't know anything about that ripped up piece of letter. What if it's state secrets again? Doesn't have anything to say about the picture. Nothing to say about the medical report, which I'm not surprised about. Oh. Unless you put coins in this meter, of course, it won't give you any gas. The British have some really chilling inventions, don't they? Sorry? Well, you could die on a cold winter's night if you weren't able to light your stove. I suppose, in a way, one little coin could be the difference between life and death. That is horrible. Personally, I'd break the meter and find a way to light the stove somehow. Wow. Oh no, the meter might explode if you were to tamper with it, Naruto-san. The gas companies have it all buttoned up, don't they? Either you pay them for the gas or you die. Today's trial! It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand? I know. Not only that, but then finding out that he is actually a barefaced gas thief as well. Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. Hi, Zoe. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Soseki-san poisoning the tea. Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamspeare that we yet to know. I'm sure of it. Like maybe state secrets? Government secrets? Mr. Shamspeare certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first. What'd become of him, actually? I was told he'd be returned into the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment. Oh, which one is that? Are we actually gonna go see him? Let me see. Ah yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bart's as Londoners call it. We know that place, don't we? Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. The same hospital to which she was taken. Ah yes, after Soseki-san stabbed him in the back. Do be careful of your phrasing, Naruto-san. He didn't stab anyone. Perhaps we both owe Soseki-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's, yes, we should visit the hospital later. God damn it, we are visiting it. No, I don't want to visit him. He's not going to talk, he's not going to tell us shit. What next? So, we know that Soseki-san took tea to the victim on the night in question, but as he isn't the culprit, then obviously, yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea. But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspeare's body? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspeare's room that will help solve the mystery. Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives have been all over the place already, but it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. Definitely. Maybe we might have to lift up some floorboards or something. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar of soap. Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we could ask him about that. And Kazuma's wishes. Kazuma Asogi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before he left Japan. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea came up with. As a stowaway? Look at... I don't know if you guys see this. My cat is slowly moving the mouse cursor. into just the monitor that is currently hosting my Ace Attorney game. Naruhodo's lost gay lover. Hey, they can be absolute big BFFs. Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial. That you really ought to go into law, be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it, believe me, I guarantee it. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. I haven't even thought about becoming a lawyer. Are you mad? Well, I can't force you, obviously. You have to decide for yourself. And anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world. The city at the forefront of everything. Can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? Oh, no. Never mind. This is what I'm talking about. The secrets, and all the secrets are gone with him now. Naruhodo-san? Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yes, that's right, but... Yes? I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. The thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. And we have, like, nothing. We don't know shit. That's the problem. And this specific case happened before they found out about the Morse code government secret cipher thing. Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions? I mean this. His katana? I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yes. Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Hands! Kurama? Karuma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryanosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me, I truly believe that. Karama? So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? We still... God, I want answers to that one. I had hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet, I've not found a single clue. I see. It's gonna take forever to find out about that, I feel like. Well, we should go down the list and see if we have anyone to say hi to. Sholmes, sweet. Oh, Bruno and Susie, hooray, you're back. Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Why, you couldn't have come back at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually, where's that foul smell? Aha! The Wanderers return at last. Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court? Oh, for the Mr. Mustache's case. That was today, was it? This guy is an airhead sometimes, man. Sometimes, man. No, he's not an airhead. He's an airhead. Not an airhead sometimes. Airhead constantly. I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you think you did. Well, we can laugh about it now. Now tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least. Really, I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day by Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Van Zeek's an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo. Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed. That's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science. Oh, dear. Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Before that, can I ask you about this armband? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, about this. Shh, not another word. Ah, yes, I see. This would be a collar for a breed of miniature canine with a particularly long neck, and for winter use. Actually, it's the armband I always wear that symbolizes my role as a defense lawyer. Precisely, which leads us to but one conclusion. Your arm is, in fact, that particularly long neck of a miniature canine. Starting to wish I'd never shown him this now. The man's barking mad. He really is mad. How do you come up with that? You want soap? I believe you tried to eat some soap once, didn't you? True, yes. I had a theory that it may cleanse the inside of my digestive system, you see. That's the same concept as eating hand sanitizer, thinking it's going to help you out. Don't do that, by the way. Was it particularly dirty, do you think? Indeed, it was, for I had mistakenly imbibed some ink at the time, assuming it to be coffee. I must cleanse at once, I thought to myself, quite logically, of course. Only you could have had... Only you could have an anecdote about swallowing soap. That's dumb. That's so dumb. You want tea? Ah, yes, the crockery of the failed thespian and the mustachioed bookworm. His name is Mr. Soseki Natsumi. You really should try to remember it. You're right. After all, I've entrapped the man twice now. Yes, the deeply malicious bookworm has a deeply malicious mustache. Oh dear, I'm not sure about that. A deeply misfortunate mustache, perhaps. Can you imagine Mr. Natsumi without his beard? Or, I'm sorry, without his mustache? That too! The mustache is indeed misfortunate, but only because it is malicious. Oh, what wonderful reasoning, Mr. Sholmes. You've won me over yet again. That didn't take long. Mr. Sholmes, about this... Dull. Sorry? If you will produce such dull items with such dull countenance, you must expect a dull response. At the very least, you could do something about your face, my dear fellow. I crave visual stimulation. Something like this? Indeed, that is quite the stimulation I desired. Oh, he doesn't even have anything to say about the gas. I was hoping he'd say something about the gas meter, but I guess not. Anyway, that's all I feel like. Besides the crime scene photograph? Nope, okay. That's all I feel like showing him then. Let's trot, Mr. Sholmes. Or Convertus. Lord Van Zeeks. Lord Berg Van Zeeks, yes. It's an interesting, sober... What? What is that word? I can't say it. Interesting soberkeet? He has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. But vanish how exactly? By falling under a passing carriage, or drowning in the Thames, or succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue being set upon by a highwayman. Well, I have to go. Opening shift tomorrow. You take it easy, Stone. Thanks for dropping by the way. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit, for the time being at least. Why can't I talk today? My ability to read English is taking a big hit. Wow! 1, 2, 3, 4 drop frames. Let's go. That's not overly reassuring. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Zeek's own hand. As it happens, Miss Susato, that is quite impossible. Oh, why? Naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper had always had a cast-iron alibi. Really? And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived at the country, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection. It really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are facing Mr. Reaper again. Poor Runo. I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky or incredibly unlikable. I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people. That was very specific, but let's continue on with that dialogue. With Mr. Natsumi, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese as well as Miss Susato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Zeek seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed, it is an interesting observation. Hi, Zoe. Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes? It was about 10 years ago that Barak Van Zeeks chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan. No! What the? You tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Oh, but... The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who's the most deserving of your attention, I believe. Fair enough. So, what is that indescribably foul smell? Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea. Oh my! There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor. Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris? At the ready, Hurley. Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? It turns black? Why? It turned completely black. And what a foul odor it's giving off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is, huh? It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling. I don't even know what that is. That's very ingenious, but what do you do with the black liquid now? Why, dispose of it, naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes. Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam. Right. The point is, we are entering a new era of science in the world of criminal investigation also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times. I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Herlock-Sholmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based. Is there ever a reference to that in any of the other games? This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Bam, 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 bam. That forensic science is amazing, because you can never get away. So, your T-test is an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases, then. Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there. I hadn't even heard of them up until recently. Which is partly why I undertake the research in this field myself, of course. Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes? Sometimes you just need water to bring the throat back into good times. There were others in the field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, what I am researching is skin prints. Skin prints? A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation. Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes! As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in actions very soon indeed. Well, I think we should go back to the scene of the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues. That's the spirit, Runo. See you later. Yes, until later. That's really cute. They pose the same way right now. I know you don't get to see this where they're posing at the same time together. No, Mr. Sholmes, we were thinking you'd come with us. You were? Yes, of course. You just said so a moment ago. You said we'd witness your forensic talents in action. Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later, in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Runo. Bye-bye, Susie. You know, I didn't even get to look at, like... Mr. Sholmes seems to be making funny faces at something on his desk. I thought he said he was going to come with us to Mr. Shamspeare's room. No doubt he's preparing something, Mr. Naruhodo. Something amazing! He's asleep! And he's doing it whilst asleep. Is there no limit to the man's talents? Oh my god. Maya? No, sorry. Susato, you're just as bad as Maya when it comes to the Steel Samurai. Iris? That's incredible concentration, that is. I find it quite remarkable how she can focus on so many different things at once. Perhaps I should try drinking more herbal tea. The blend third from the right would be good for you, Runo. What? Oh, Iris? This girl is destined for great things, I'm sure. Damn, okay. Damn. If I remember correctly, this large and imposing lump of iron is called a typewriter. To think that every single one of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes blossomed from this very machine. It's such a dreamy thought. I actually had a go on it the other day. The metal bars that move when you hit the keys got all tangled up somehow, and that made Iris angry. You dumbass. Mr. Naruhodo. You're ruining my dreamy thoughts. Please don't do that again. Ugh. Now I've made Suzato-san angry as well. You deserve a flip for that one, Ryu. You definitely deserve a flip for that one. Man, there's a lot of stuff. Man, you could take up a lot of time just like looking at everything. I'm not gonna. That's a lot of time. Maybe on like another pass through of this game I might look at that, but meh. Miss Green wouldn't be there still, right? She'd be gone. The mouse is still there. St. Bartholomew's Hospital Recovery Ward blank. What do you suppose is happening? It sounds like some sort of disturbance. Yes, I hear angry voices. What the hell are you doing here? Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily, thou art mistaken. Mistaken, my foot. You were looking at my painting. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that mustache villain gave of me. Forgive me, lady. Huh? I wish that you'd die from that poison. God a mercy, ample lady, but thou seest, I have vigor still. Behold my sham spear dance. Oh God. This looks rather ominous, doesn't it? I really don't want to talk to him, dude. I really don't want to talk to Shamspear. Ah, lo, 'tis the lawyer from the land whence riseth the sun. How now? What are you doing here, Mr. Shamspear? Mary, I do believe I am returned onto another ward. He was looking. That's what he was doing. Look at my terrible work. Eastern fellow, so darkly clad. Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee. Oh, well, thank you. But that doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? He lost his composure there completely. The fuck was that? Anon, exude. Mr. Shamspear might technically be the victim in this case, but there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. I'm starting to wonder what the hell his case is about, dude. I'm so sorry, I'm such an awful person. Ah, Miss Green, is everything alright? Oh, yes, I mean, don't worry about me. I'm really curious about that key, by the way. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now. Oh, I see. We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it. What about this rat here, though? There's not really much else I can look at, but except for her. Can he talk? So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green? I am, thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me. Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it? As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then, completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. What a terrible week it's been for you. Oh no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I look back on this fondly. Really? Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged. Oh yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. Kinda hoping she would say something else, but... What is this about? Ah, this looks like the treatment notes for whoever's occupying this bed. Let's see. Do not permit to run around the hospital. The patient doesn't seem to be here at the moment, so... He or she is probably running around the hospital then. Oh dear, how worrying. What's worrying is why they haven't discharged the patient yet. You know, that's a good question. That's a very good question. All sorts of medicines, not sure if it's safe leaving the reach of everyone like this. But they're all, under lock and key, so it's fine, right? Yeah, look, there's a little lock on the cabinet doors. I don't imagine that would stop you if you were hungry. I worry that you'd break the lock. Hunger doesn't turn me into a criminal, you know, Miss Susato. Don't wonder about that rat and why it's there, but okay. I really don't want to go to Mr... Oh, good, never mind. Well, we're gonna go to the Shakespeare's room, but that bothers me that I have... You know what, let's go through, like... Let's go through the motions. We can't just go straight to Shakespeare's room. We gotta go to Briar Road first, right? The scene of the stabbing of Miss Olive Green. This is where Miss Green was struck down. Hi, Zoe. Sorry, I'm grabbing cat head right now. I like grabbing her head. It's so cute. Briar Road! Oh, nothing? Okay, then. How about Mr. Garadeb's room, then? Garadeb, you have anything to say? My cat's poking move for paw. Mr. Garadeb appears to be out. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Alright. How about the prison, then? I know this is not going to the... I know I'm avoiding Shakespeare's room, but... I want to talk to Soseki-san. Local prison! Cell 9. Oh, Mr. Natsumi is back. So he is. Mr. Natsumi, hello! I am a cat. Zoe, does Mr. Natsumi look like a... Does he look like a cat? Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsumi is, or Hairlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruto, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He already has, completely. So, what is your name, then? As yet, I have no name. Wow. Mr. Naruto, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. You think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsumi? I am not a cat. It worked. He's back in the real world. I don't know what's going on to become of me. No! Don't answer that. It's obvious. My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate. Mr. Natsumi, no. This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope. Yes. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but the Reaper is omnipresent in court, in my lodgings, here, there, everywhere. What? What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss? Oh, yes. Yes, we must. What would we discuss, though? How about we start with armband? Have I shown you that? Oh, yeah, we have. We've seen this. Okay. P? I'm gonna grab your head, Zoe. Stop moving around, Zoe. Stop moving around, Zoe. Zoe? Zoe, come here. No. No. Oh. I took my phone with you. Ah. Hold on, my cat wants to play with the toy, which means I can only have her chase their little favorite toy. Oh, damn! Well, I don't know where that toy went. Mr. Natsumi, it's nothing much, but never mind. I've tried to show him stuff like this before and he don't care. Hey, can you know about this envelope? No, I can't. Guess not. Hey, Mr. Natsumi, do you know about this meter? He doesn't give a shit about anything, man. Blah. Fine, let's converse then. This morning's trial. In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No! Of course, if I cast my mind back, there are perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me more. But if I just block those out, then today, being in that corner was the most moving experience of my life. Locum student, Mr. Naruto, Esquire. Oh my god, I ran out of air. You're too kind. Scully and Nard must found the remaining tea, just as we deduced, and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a solemn, sworn Soseki certainty. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the time, you were both completely fine. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspear then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings would be how the poison was taken by the victim then. Good question. How? That rotten Shamspear, what have I ever done to him? You recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything. Anything at all! Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. But you know what, Mr. Natsumi? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I wouldn't have chosen to live in a cursed existence in such a cursed lodgings. Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed and it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly! Especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place. And it's trying to kill me! Capital offender? Might I ask, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, the next time that you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps? I mean, I have a soap. You want a soap? Mr. Natsumi, what do you know about this? Ah, there it is! That lathery lowlife that took my neighbor's life and sent me sliding to the depths of despair. Slippery, sickly, psychotic saboteur. Hmm? You've really gone off soap, haven't you? Absolutely, and I've made up my mind. The next time someone gives me soap as a present, it's friendship finished firmly forever. I swear I've read this dialogue before. I have read this dialogue before. Well, since I have nothing else to present, do you care about the picture? Nope, you don't care about the picture at all. I guess let's go to Mr. Shamspear's room I've been holding off on that one. 22nd of February. Mr. Natsumi's lodgings ground floor. Wouldn't it just be better to call this Mr. Garridub's room? I'm sorry, not Mr. Garridub's room. Mr. Shamspeare's room? Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have a look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it alright, and there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it! It's with the identification section at the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today. That's wonderful news. Thank you. Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? None. Forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything here. This guy is incapable of giving Ryu... The fuck shows. This guy is incapable of giving Ryu any praise. What's up with that hole? No, it's been there. I don't know why that feels so out of place now. Are you looking for new clues, Inspector? On Lord Van Zeek's orders, yeah. Don't come back till you've got something for me, he says. Tisk. What are you doing, Zoe? You're so crazy right now. Is it because you're just poop? Fun. Oh dear, poor you. Yeah, poor me, because we've already searched every bleeding nook and cranny in this place. I don't know what he expects, to be honest. Thank goodness for warm chips, is all I can say. Well, at least he's honest. So what about you, Mr. Sholmes? Since you're here. Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there? What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene? Oi! What are you doing here, Sholmes? What are you up to over there? What are you doing over here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems. It is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised? With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madam. What's all this? All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. Herlock Sholmes' sensational skin print seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from that teacup that was used by the victim. A sample from Mr. Shamspeare's cup? Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this, a refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on. There, now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. Spray? How do I do that exactly? A little press of A on the area you're interested in is all that's required, like this. What is that stuff? It's like fog. A suspension of the chemical indicator is a suspension of the chemical indicator in a pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area. There was another invention I discovered incidentally whilst I was developing this idea. As you do. Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question. Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Here's the thing I was curious about. It was this. Nothing? Okay. Well, that's expected. Except he's on the lock and he's on, well, that. Okay, now that's a little suspicious. Why is it on the box? Hold on a minute. Wait, why would he be on the box? Yeah, that makes sense too. Look, there are dozens of handprints here. So there are a great many indeed, so much so that it's hard to make out any one individual print in fact. It sends a chill down my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired this picture? But why would he be touching the lamp? Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene after all. And without wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel. Oh, very true, Mr. Zato. It's a bit of a mystery then. Bum 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 bum. So, what am I missing to spray? I'm confused. There's nothing else to poke, yo. Help! What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody help me. I must be missing something here. What am I missing here? Why is that's a word that it was censored? I had to actually uncensor that. Why? Oh, there we go. Oh, look at all this here. Ah, yes, interesting. A multitude of the victim's handprints. Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot? Oh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here? There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over, though, is there? I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over. I think there's something only a great detective... That's only something a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes. Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor. Yes, there's no obvious explanation. Aside from that, maybe you can lift the floorboard. Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' amazing skin print indicator all over the room, didn't we? We did, but there are two places in particular that are of interest, I would say. The handprints on the floor there, and on the wall by the picture, you mean? Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment. What is it, Miss Susato? Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out. One of the... You mean it's a secret hiding place? Excellent work, Miss Susato. So, what do we have in here? Oi, what are you lot doing? Inspector Gregson, stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate there. No need, Inspector. You can continue. You continue to dig into your portion of chips while we dig around under the floor here. Your fancy talk's putting me off my food anyway, Jones. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Wow, a secret hiding place under the floor. What a find. It's not a hiding place you could make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw to Tommy Mat. No, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there, too. Aren't you curious? Oh! I'll investigate it once. There's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall. Huh? How disappointing. But then, how do you explain the handprints? I really can't think of anyone, why anyone would have been touching the wall over there over and over in one place like that. Click. There you are, a print for you. Traces of handprints on the wall discovered using the skin print seeker gun. There are multiple prints on either side of the hanging picture, but why though? I would have expected a secret painting behind it, but there's nothing. Oh, thank you very much. His adventure can make prints too? Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there. I'm desperate to know! So am I! Gregson. I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath the floorboard there. Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson! Really, it's been too long! What is it, Sholmes? I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there, seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. Oof. No, I suppose not. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. I killed to know what was under that floorboard. Alright then, fair's fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all. Suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you! Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, it's that he blows with the wind as fickle as the weather. Oi, stop making me out to be some kind of nut. There were 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know? All of it, I guess? Looks like this was cut out from the looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. It made the headlines down here in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first. Oh my goodness. He committed a capital offense? Man by the name of Sheldon. Sheldon? Sheldon from Big Bang Theory? Nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. Sheldon, you've gone downhill, man. They say the hoard he knocked off was worth about £1,000. A hoard? Of treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like, but he'd hidden it somewhere and no one knows where, and now he's dead. Papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, some such was the headline. Does it not strike you, though, why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor? That is kind of interesting. I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we got on Sheldon back at the yard and see if I can turn anything up. Newspaper article about Sheldon, a criminal sentenced to receive the death penalty. However, he died of illness in prison while his loot remained undiscovered. Damn. About that print, though. Huh? So, this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. That's, Isn't that, Miss Green's husband? Or, I think it's Miss Green's husband. Yes, it would appear to have been taken on the street in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garrideb, the landlord, of course. But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garrideb's son, perhaps? Perhaps. You can take that print if you like. Really? Are you sure? We can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is. Ah, is that true? Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out... Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. The hidden photograph. A photographic print found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. It shows the landlord, Mr. Garrideb, together with a young man. I wonder why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor. I mean, Mr. Shamspeare himself isn't in it. Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garrideb was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it. What about the tin box, though? That's a big-ass box. Now this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I already had a look. It's completely empty. What? What? Shamspeare, give us a clue, man! You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box. Yes, thin air. It's empty, rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box then, I wonder? That's... Why? Meow. Oh, wait, what? Huh? Wait, what is Wagahide? What? Oh, look! It's that lovely little kitty cat. What was its name again? Wagahai. It's Mr. Natsumi's, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him, actually. Why do we call it, Oh. That's where Wagahai came in. You know, like Mr. Natsumi refers to himself in Japanese. I wonder how he got in here. Clever cat. Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wagahai, here's something delicious I brought for you from the cat's meat man. Meow. This is a familiar scene to me. You know, I have not given Zoe some wet food in a while. Aw, that's so cute. He could be happier now. Look, I just hope he can bring some happiness to his owner too. Oh, that's bad. Meow. That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. Oh, but he's so adorable. I could sit and watch him forever. I think he may not appreciate that after a while, and we have an investigation to get back to. Bullshit, fuck the investigation. Pay attention to the cat all day. The sun never shines in this room thanks to that depressing bricked-up window. Yet, with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you? That sounds like a very, very wise life lesson, Miss Suzato. Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo. I wonder if... Could you do that with, like... That sounds so... This is gonna sound like a horrible, horrible question, because it literally is borderline, like, criminal. Actually, it is criminal. Could you do the same shit with the bar of soap and, like, stick a quarter inside a bar of soap, then freeze the water in that bar of soap and make a coin to use it on, like, a vending machine or something? Could you actually do that? Is that a thing that could actually be legitimately, like, done? I feel like you can't. I feel like the vending machines are a lot smarter than that. This is some sort of makeshift stage, I think, isn't it? Where does the audience sit, though, for the nightly Shakespeare performances? Actors aspiring to the great stage must practice their art, Mr. Naruhodo, before we'll find an audience. In fact, on a related note, perhaps you should set up a mock bench for the defendant's office. What? Then you could practice your art every single day. I'll think about it. If you promise to don a beard and play the role of the giant. I want to see Suzato with a giant-ass judge beard. Well, if that would help you achieve your goal. This I have to see. Where's the fan art, dude? I need fan art of that. Doop-doom. Ah, the ill-fated teacups from which the two men drank on the ill-fated night. They're in their heated literary debate, yes. Who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? It sounds like it was quite a discussion. Now I think of it, I'm sure that the two lovers of the play ended their lives with poison. That's fiction, Miss Suzato. Let's hope it stays that way. Ah, yes, the bar of soap. So it turns out that Mr. Shamspeare wasn't eating the soap at all. That's right, the mystery of why he had on the plate while holding a fork in his hand is solved. Yes, to prize his latest ice coin out of its mold. And in the process, he accidentally broke the bar of soap in two. It certainly was hard to imagine, let alone deduce. I mean, who would fucking think about that? Oh yeah, we never looked at that, did we? If you rounded a change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, London's winters can be very harsh. That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy could find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change. London winters can be very harsh for the forgetful, too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Suzato-san and I are gonna make it to spring. That's true, we don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. Look how dark the stand on the floor is underneath the meter there. Yes, from the water dripping out after the ice coins melted, as you established in court this morning. That's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it? Mr. Shamspeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose. It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. Can't mess with the painting. I can't mess with that either, so... I can only look at the costumes. Not much on these shelves, is there? Just this wine glass and bottle. And both of them are cracked. Yes, not much use, are they? What's the matter? Oh, I was just reminded of the Reaper, that's all. Prosecutor Lord Van Zeeks? Yes, he's so reckless with his wine glasses. I was thinking it's a waste and that he should donate something to the needy. You can suggest it next time we meet. She's not gonna. I don't think I would either. Alright, so we got the handprint thing. Not much I could do about that. We got this thing. Condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester's Strangeways Prison announced the death of the convicted murderer and burglar Sheldon by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He'd been suffering with a fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, Medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Huh. And then we have the picture here, which we can't even look around with it. So there's nothing behind it then. So what, that's it then? Can we ask about that? That tin box? Okay, no, we can't do anything. I want the box, though. I guess we're done here, then. Unless Wagahai wants to move, but... Let's go back to the prison? That, or we could go check out Mr. Garrideb, but I don't know if... Oh, wait, maybe you might know something about this. No. I guess the only person I can ask is Mr. Garrideb, then. You know anything about this? Oh, what's this? It's a newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shakespeare's room. Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Sheldon. A convicted killer, and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings. I'm sorry, what? He's already taken one young man's life, and now? He's trying to take the life of another. A miserable mustached, much-maligned Japanese man. Mr. Natsumi, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. I didn't think I was gonna get anything off this with him. The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Sheldon man was arrested about a year ago now, and at the time he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garrideb's house. What? He lived where you do now? That's right, yes, exactly where I live now, in my very room. Oh my. Your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense? But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse. What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsumi? It's already caused one death a few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room, the man who rented it after Sheldon, in fact. Poor lodger, he was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? It's interesting, huh? Yes, well, that was the start of it. Are we getting into supernatural? Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsumi? The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Gas? I only found that out after I had signed the lease. When Mr. Garrideb came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I had known beforehand, I probably would have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease is luckily legal. Lucky for Mr. Garrideb, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsumi. Yeah? And now you believe that this curse is affecting you? It is! At first, I just felt as though I was being watched. All the time. And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you? The dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me. Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up. And the room is as cold as ice. But why is your room so cold? London winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible. That's exactly the same situation as to what led the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shakespeare last night when he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident that can be explained by a curse, though. Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garrideb's rooms. Pipe leak? the only thing I can think of. Okay, well, can I present the... I don't think you're gonna say anything about this. Yeah, no. Well, let's go check if Mr. Garrett is back yet, then. So we have... What do we have? Let's take stock for a second. We have... I'm gonna bank on that there was no poison in the tea. But now we have a situation of supernatural causes. Evil spirit could be easily explained with gas leaks somewhere? I don't know. I'm not sure with that one. Anyway, let's check Mr. Garrett. Maybe he's back. There you are, Mr. Garrett. Ah, you're here now, Mr. Garrett. Right bally business it is for me, you know? Getting out and about. Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance? Naturally, fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that, not a try to miss. The fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes. Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such. Ah, well, at least he knows. Makes you wonder what the blazes is going on, don't you know? Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsumi's trial just 2 days ago, you were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you, testifying with your wife about what happened? Stopped off at the prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business. I see. So, what brings you to my haunted abode today? I would like to ask you directly immediately about this photo. Mr. Garrett, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there? No, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name. Duncan? Duncan from the Yogscast? Am I finally gonna get my dream collabing with Duncan? Duncan Ross. A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot. Just for kicks, really. Was he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsumi? Yes, that's right. Oh shit, he's dead then. Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before that Japanese chap. Would you mind telling us a little bit more about him? Let's start with the lodgers, though. Your lodgings, and then the lodgers, and then that guy. Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse. Convict's curse, you mean? Ah, heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here, the next chap in the room goes and keels over. Then there's that woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. Woman is not dead. Am I next, eh? Well, can't help but get the collywobbles, can ya? When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by a knife, and Mr. Shamspear, who was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still. Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems. Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, a fascinating history. Why, it sounds like the lap of luxury. Not so sure about that. You're not going to convince a tenant otherwise. Well, there's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either. Ouch. But you do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here? Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things. in case there were any other mishaps or such like. I think you've had your mishap already, sir. That's not hopeful, Mr. Sholmes. Heaven forgive me. The words just came to my lips. Damn, this guy is like on a full roast. Just wanted to roast them for no reason. Dude, what the fuck? Your lodgers, though. Some fishy fellow. Wait, what? That's what you just said that. There's no need for that, Mr. Garrideb. That's right. Mr. Natsumi is in no way fishy. He is undeniably peculiar, however. It is right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away. Is it right? Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very same day. Never came across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were. I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much as for the cheap rent, actually. So, how long has Mr. Shamspear been lodging under your roof? That fared actor chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it. Only 3 months. She's quite new here, too, then. Wait a minute. We got some very interesting timing here, don't we? Coincidence? And to what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrideb, if I might ask? Well, it was that Sheldon scoundrel, as it happens. Sheldon? The convict, you mean? Do Sheldon and Shamspear have some kind of connection, then? Shamspear's tenancy. That convict chap, Sheldon, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see. Some malady or other. Yes, we've seen the report from the newspaper at the time. Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedian showed his face, the actor fellow. Really? Yes, I remember it quite distinctly. 'Tis small, this world we inhabit. Prithee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamspear, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor, offered erewhile for rent. Terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. Already have a lodger on the middle floor, ground floor is vacant, though. Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat mine well unto thee. Those curls must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor is taken. It's ground floor or nothing. Very well. We have an accord. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar Road. Lo, a Shamspear dance to celebrate. God, I hate this guy. I'm starting to hate Shamspear. From what I heard in court today, sounds like the chap was thieving gas. And he was 3 months in arrears with the rent, too. Yes, the fellow was a bally player, alright. Thank you for your candor, Mr. Garrideb. We are most grateful. By the way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put me on my crown. I have immortal longings in me. Please don't do that. Don't do that, Sholmes. Don't do that. What's happened to you? Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I don't care how famous it is. Don't do that. I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know? Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines, then? Especially fucking Shakespeare lines. Those lines are so confusing. Yes, Duncan Ross. Young chap was attending art school. Had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved into the middle floor room about a year ago after that criminal Sheldon was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them. History of cheap rent, maybe, yes. Yes, well, anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. I hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers were up to at the time. So sadly, I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. Smell of gas that alerted me it was. Ah, yes. It's synonymous with the smell of death. called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. And once we got inside, we all bawdy collapsed. Because of the gas? Yes, the room was full of it, no air at all. The stove must have gone off while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed. So Mr. Ross suffocated to death. Of course, the police gave me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it sent me back to have the lot replaced all over the house. But even after you had all the work done, Mr. Natsumi says the same thing. That the stove goes out at night whilst he's asleep in bed. Well, that's the baldy curse, the convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now. Someone's feeling defensive. Well... that reminds me, actually. Yes, about young Duncan. That night before the poor chap perished, he'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady. A love letter, you mean? Yes, where did I put it now? Ah, here it is. Left it on my desk. If you'll excuse me. Let me see now. What does it say? My most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Do you think we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence? My dear Miss Suzato, that is precisely why I prefaced my reading with, if you'll excuse me. I will not excuse you, Mr. Sholmes, no. Sadly, he didn't address it, though. So I have no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really. I see. That's gonna play on my mind. But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone. Yes, I suppose you're right. Indeed, the intended's recipient address is missing. However, there is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Mr. Sholmes, please, I've already had to chastise you about this once. I just found poop on my desk. The fuck? Zoe, you need to clean your butt better, girl. Alright then, that's clean. My undying love to you, my colorful darling olive green. Well, I guess I was right in some regards, but why was I right? Why did I call him the husband, then? Olive green? The woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside this house 5 days ago? The victim of the last case Soseki-san was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday. Is it just chance that her name has come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence? Mr. Naruhodo, whatever this mean? Reading personal correspondence can have its merits, you see, Miss Suzato. Well, I'm glad you read it, Mr. Sholmes, but you didn't have to. Thanks, Mr. Garrett, by the way. Oh, by the way, do you have anything to say about this? Nope, nothing. How about the handprints? Nothing. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. What about the meter? Oh, he does have something. An Altamont gas meter, yes. Decent fireplace in here, of course, so no need for a gas stove. But there's nothing better than a gas lamp for reading in bed, eh? Actually, Mr. Natsume mentioned that the gas supply to his room kept failing. Yes, that. I had the gas company look into it, but they couldn't find a thing wrong. The chap must have been imagining things. I don't think he was imagining it. The poor man woke up unable to breathe. Think it was put down to ghost at work or some such in the end? Place must be haunted. They all believe in the haunting, dude. Hey, do you know anything about this envelope? No. I think I might have showed them that before, though, to be fair. And if I have, I don't recall ever showing it to him again. Anyway, thank you, man. I'm gonna go back to... Shit, where do I even go? At this point, the only place I can go to is back to the prison to talk to Mr. Natsumi. But I don't think... I think I've done everything here. Yeah, I've got nothing. You know what? Go to the hospital. Oh, she's gone. No! Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last. This is good news, but hopefully just before she leaves... Ah! What is it? Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. One moment, I'll be with you in a jiffy. Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? The doctor said I can be discharged, so I'm getting my things together. Miss Green, what were you just doing? Oh, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all. Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you, if that's alright. I don't really have anything else to tell you. Alright, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if I can't coax something out of her. Yeah, she's not gonna talk unless I, give her this. Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you? And she's at... What in the world is that about? Oh no, I'm so sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did. That does not look like standard medicine. Oh, Miss Green, are you alright? And she's out. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that. No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting it. Pink medicine? Yeah, why is it pink? But how do you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan, a year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. And the two of you became romantically involved? Trustworthy in these ages? I don't trust pink medicine. Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually, so I was kind of right. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding. And that's what led him to Mr. Garrett, Debs. Yes, he told me he'd found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened. We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green. I want to examine that green liquid. Not green liquid, pink liquid. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looks desperately sad. I'm starting to think that's just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. Miss Green, about this convict. Could you just hold that there for a moment? Don't move. Sorry? No, the aesthetics are all wrong. Is it wrong that I feel so thoroughly rejected? Yes. What is this about? The bottle fell off before when Miss Green collapsed. That was quite an earthquake. Wow. Whatever was in the bottle. Honey, maybe? Or treacle? Or syrup? Or all three mixed together, even. Mr. Naruhodo, you've been having a lot of very mean thoughts during this exchange. I'm disappointed in you. Sorry. This is the card that Miss Green was looking at so intently before, isn't it? Mr. Naruhodo, we shouldn't be peeking at a young woman's private effects. Right, I should say peeking for a gentleman's effects only. You mustn't do that either. And maybe you, Mr. Jado, shouldn't be peeking into a young man's mind either, I wish he would have said something about that. It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green. Oh yes, I mean, thank you. Well, once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway. So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I probably shouldn't stand around and chat. She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but... would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our... Mr. Naruhodo! You see that in the background? Surely you were not about to leave. That's quite out of the question. Well, Mr. Sholmes, I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows, as always. Well, make your presence known next time. Mr. Sholmes, what's this about? Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Miss Suzato, is this. Why do detectives insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There's a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let us avert disaster, let us prevent this case from ever happening with nothing but careful observation. Alright, all the clues you need are set before you. You need only look and you cannot fail to see. You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo, I know you can. I don't know, man, seeing that rat there is so fucking obvious. That is rat poison, or some sort of, like, super strong poison. That mouse seems to be dead. Look, I didn't notice it there before, did you? I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spit out of the bottle. But that's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived. You don't think... Ah, I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy about to take place. Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilt on the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Don't worry, I will attend to the mouse presently. Miss Green, are you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Once we'd left, you would have put it into your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison? Miss Green, please talk to us. What were you thinking, man? Oh, jeez, okay. 10 seconds later, and we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine? Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking. It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains. I'm afraid I don't really know. But I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow. It's never the right answer. I feel like I don't need to keep on saying it, but... whatever she planned to do, it's not the right answer. For anyone. Oh, please, Miss Green. Don't talk of such things. Well, it seems clear in that it contains poison. Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that. No. Oh, it's all my fault. What have I done? I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection. No, none. It definitely feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere. Yes, it may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Shrewsbury was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it. Oh boy, this one is... this was a toughie, man. Neither the sender's name or address appear to be written on the envelope or the card. Hey. We have a piece of that card, or letter. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of utmost importance. Wait a minute. The 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. Wait a minute, what? And 5 p.m.? Is precisely the time when the incident occurred. Huh? The Slug and Salad, yes, a pub on the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road being the street that Mr. Garrideb's house is on. Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was struck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad. Goodness. So that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day. I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry I had to... I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you. No, it's fine. Miss Green, please promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry, your detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. Might sound a little conceited, but, well, that's how this has all made me feel. Leaving Miss Green and Saint Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigator trial for today. Yes, it's late. And Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamspeare, Mr. Garridub's lodgings, the convict Sheldon. There are many facets to the case, and we're yet to see the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway. I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Mr. Natsumi's tea, you mean? Yes, will they have found Stitchin in it or not? Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Reaper. Oh dear. Yes, Barock von Zeeks. But I wish you every success, of course, and though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial. Mr. Sholmes, you're gonna come? Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there, assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsumi's cause until the very end. Oh. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Soseki-san had battled long and hard with his loneliness during his many months here, so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn for all of us. This case has become a lot more convoluted than I thought it was going to be honest with y'all. There's a lot of extra cogs that are turning. I don't think I have time, though, for the trial part 2, though. And I gotta blame my schedule for that one. I need a break anyway after that little scene there. That one hit me a little harder than I wanted it to. So I'll go ahead and end the stream here for the night. I mean, it is a Monday. I don't normally stream on Mondays anyway. In all seriousness, though, if at any point you thought about suicide, just don't. There's a lot of reasons that it's not the go-to option. I should know. Anyhows, y'all should subscribe, come join the Discord server, come chat with the community, come say hi, come hang out. What else was I gonna say? My brain's blinked out now. I'll just end it here then. Have a good morning, everyone. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. And have a good night. And I will see you tomorrow for the next stream being Stardew Valley. Bye-bye.